Well, once again, I want to welcome Prime Minister Trudeau to the White House. We just completed a very productive meeting, although I regret to inform you that we still have not reached agreement on hockey, but it is not interfering with the rest of our bilateral relationship. As I said earlier, this visit reflects something we Americans don't always say enough, and that is how much we value our great alliance and partnership with our friends up north. We're woven together so deeply as societies, as economies, that it's sometimes easy to forget how truly remarkable our relationship is. A shared border, more than 5,000 miles, that is the longest between any two nations in the world. Every day we do some $2 billion in trade and investment, and that's the largest bilateral economic relationship in the world. Every day more than 400,000 Americans and Canadians cross the border. Workers, business people, students, tourists, neighbors. And of course, every time we have a presidential election, our friends to the north have to brace for an exodus of Americans who swear they'll move to Canada if the guy from the other party wins. But typically it turns out fine. This is now my second meeting with Justin, and I'm grateful that I have him as a partner. We've got a common outlook on what our nations can achieve together. He campaigned on a message of hope and of change. His positive and optimistic vision is inspiring young people. At home, he's governing with a commitment to inclusivity and equality. On the world stage, his country is leading on climate change and cares deeply about development. So from my perspective, what's not to like? Of course, no two nations agree on everything. Our countries are no different. But in terms of our interests, our values, how we approach the world, few countries match up the way the United States and Canada do. And given our work together today, I can say, and I believe the Prime Minister would agree, that when it comes to the central challenges that we face, our two nations are more closely aligned than ever. We want to make it easier to trade and invest with one another. America's already the top destination for Canadian exports, and Canada's the top market for U.S. exports, which support about 1.7 million good-paying American jobs. When so many of our products, like autos, are built on both sides of the border in an integrated supply chain, this co-production makes us more competitive in the global economy as a whole. And we want to keep it that way. So we've instructed our teams to stay focused on making it even easier for goods and people to move back and forth across the borders, including reducing bottlenecks and streamlining regulations. We discussed how to move forward with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and today we also reaffirmed our determination to move ahead with an agreement to pre-clear travelers through immigration and customs, making it even easier for Canadians and Americans to travel and visit and do business together. As NATO allies, we're united against the threat of terrorism. Canada is an extraordinarily valued member of the global coalition fighting ISIL, tripling its personnel to help train and advise forces in Iraq, stepping up its intelligence efforts in the region, and providing critical humanitarian support. We're working closely together to prevent the flow of foreign fighters, and today we agreed to share more information, including with respect to our no-fly lists and full implementation